Dietary protein is so important, especially as we move into midlife and beyond. Women's needs for protein are much higher than many realize. But what is the optimal amount and what's the best way to get it into your daily quota? Stay tuned as we discuss this and more. In case you don't know us, I'm Stephanie and I'm here with Jane, and we are the Nourishing Gurus, and we're on a mission to help women over 50 stop yo-yo dieting, heal their relationship with food, and feel good in their bodies again. So recently we discussed the importance of getting enough protein in, especially as we get older, and considering that most women, the minimum requirement should be no less than 75 grams and up to over 100 grams in some cases. That can be challenging to fit into your day, right? Even for those of us who do eat animal protein. The question is, how do you get that much in a day? Well, for starters, here are some figures for you. Every ounce of animal protein has 7 grams of protein. So just 4 ounces of meat, chicken, or fish is going to deliver 28 grams. Compare this to 4 ounces of beans at around 14 grams of protein. However, that doesn't mean you're doomed if you're a vegan or vegetarian, but it just takes a little bit more planning and insight to make sure you get the proper intake.
Okay, one way to do this is to aim for at least 20 grams of high quality protein per meal. So what does that look like? All right, some examples would be a full scoop of protein powder, which is perfect for smoothies. You could do 3 ounces of animal protein like chicken or beef or pork or fish, 3 ounces of canned tuna fish, sardines, or salmon, 1¼ cup of edamame or lentils or beans, 3 whole large eggs, 2 scoops of collagen can go into tea or coffee, for instance. 1½ cups of bone broth has close to 20 grams of protein, 3/4 to a cup of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, or a cup of extra firm tofu, or 3/4 cup of tempeh. Additional ways to fill in the gaps would be things like seeds and seed butter, like pumpkin seeds, sunflower butter, nuts, walnuts, almonds, almond butter, cheese, lentil or bean pasta, or quinoa. So that being said, what would a sample day look like? Well, for breakfast, you could have a smoothie with protein powder or something like 2 eggs plus an ounce of cheese. Lunch could involve 3 or more ounces of canned tuna fish, or you could have sliced turkey or 1½ cups of lentils. Dinner would be 4 ounces of chicken breast or salmon or meat, or maybe 3/4 cup of tempeh if you're vegetarian. Of course, be sure to surround your proteins with lots of colorful vegetables and healthy fats to round out your meals. And some of those will also carry small amounts of additional protein. Now, we want to bring your attention to quality for a minute. So whenever possible, choose unprocessed protein sources like organic and or grass-fed meats, wild fish or well-sourced farm fish, organic humane certified eggs, pastured chicken, and organic soy. Those are preferred. But honestly, the most important thing is just to get it in. If you can't find those sources or you're out to eat and they don't have that available, just get it in anyway.
Okay, now one thing we need to mention about fish is to be careful with the mercury. Our favorite choices for lower mercury options are salmon, mackerel, sardines. These 3 are also very high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are so important for us as we get older. Good for our brains, good for our eyes and our nervous system, and helps fight inflammation. So for tuna, you want to look for sustainably caught tuna. It's really important as they tend to have lower mercury. We like brands such as Safe Catch and Wild Planet. Another caveat we want to mention is to read your labels carefully. You don't want to be duped by all the fake sources of protein out there. Some of them are really unhealthy, but there are a lot of high protein foods on the market that actually might look really healthy on a label, but usually masks a subpar product. So if you see a product that boosts more protein or extra protein or added protein, they often use something like isolated whey or processed soy protein to ratchet up the protein. And these forms of protein are highly processed and often extracted from unsavory sources like genetically modified soy, or contain artificial sugars and flavors. So watch out for that.
Okay, we just wanted to give you a couple of popular protein products that we're not fans of. One of them is Premier Protein. We see a lot of clients eating this protein all the time, as well as many of the meat alternatives like Impossible Burgers, for instance. And yes, you're going to get the protein in, but then you're going to pay a price with some unhealthy ingredients. So for instance, looking at a label of Premier Protein, you're going to have artificial flavors, you're going to have sucralose, which is Splenda, asulfame potassium, which is a pretty dangerous artificial sweetener, carrageenan. And so you don't want to be eating those things along with your protein source. And so, for instance, the Impossible Burger, one of the main ingredients is soy protein concentrate. So that's going to pull into the GMOs and not going to be as healthy for you, along with other things like dextrose and modified food starch, etc. So our advice is just to stick with real protein sources like eggs, chicken, fish, beans and lentils, and quality protein powders, and then fillers like chia and hemp seeds, for instance. So let us know, what are your favorite protein sources? For more on how to ensure enough protein and balance in your meals for optimal nutrition, you can check out our PM Meal Mastery program. It includes tables for protein, fat, and fiber. It has a 2-week meal plan. It has superfoods for midlife, a shopping guide with some of our favorite brand name foods, and more. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you know someone who would benefit from this information, please share it with them. And don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button, as we have even more helpful tips for living healthy after 50 coming up every Thursday.